Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Okay,
Waalaikumsalam and good afternoon, Doctor.
right. So this is PBF 3023 Group B, Right. So
Betul.
give me 1 second, Sekejap. Okay, so first things first, untuk PBF 3023 Banking and Financial Institutions ni, I know in the system we have two groups, okay, Group A and also Group B. Okay, just to clarify, I've created two groups semester ni, whereby Group A tu I tag dengan program AE02, which is the ISM perakaunan. And why they have a dedicated group? Simply because the structure and also the nature of program ISM perakaunan ni untuk semester ni, whereby they're gonna have like a flexible semester. Flexible in the sense that kelas mereka tak berada di kampus. Okay, I know kita punya classes for time being is online sebab kita punya arahan from bahagian HLW Academic. We're gonna have an online classes lah, online classes sampai 31st of March. Okay, but starting April onwards, obviously we're gonna have face-to-face classes. Tapi untuk semester untuk pelajar EE02 ni tadi, they're gonna have online classes throughout the semester. Okay, sampai habis semester because like I said lah, dia punya structure tu dipanggil semester anjal ataupun a flexible semester. So therefore, they're gonna have a different approach lah as compared to the rest. And that's why selain daripada A02, we're gonna have this other group lah, Group B. Okay, betul kan, Group B today. Alright, so that's why earlier I have to reject applications selain daripada A02 untuk masuk Group A and have to masuk dalam Group B yang ni lah. But before we go into the details, okay, of the course, I know majority of you mungkin tak pernah encounter with myself, right? So let me introduce myself first.
Doktor,
Ya,
sepatutnya kita orang PFM 3203.
ni kelas apa Kejap.
M32
Asas pengurusan kewangan.
Sebab, okay. Now I can see. Ada tak group PBF dalam ni? Ada dua, okay. Dia banyak isu sebenarnya. Another thing. PFM ni pula is gonna be teach by a new lecturer. Okay. And kebetulan, okay, I have to take over this course for time being. Okay, tak apa. Sebelum kita proceed, maybe I introduce myself dulu lah kat sini. Okay, my name is Muhammad Faizal. Right, I'm currently the head of department lah untuk Department of Accounting and Finance. And as you can see there lah, my credentials and my contacts kat bawah tu. Okay, my office number, my mobile number, my room number as well, together with my email. Okay, so now I tengok jadual ni, then I can see the ada overlap. Okay, and I can see here ada PFM 3203, and then I also at the same time have PBF 3023 at the same time, 12/1 hari ni. Okay, so semua dalam ni yang ada so far memang semua PFM ke ada group PBF? Can you see ataupun can you letak dalam chat tu tak? You all
Ada PBF juga.
ada PBF juga. So this week memang, ataupun sebenarnya bukan this week lah, for the whole March ni akan ada contradiction macam ni lah. Okay. So both of the groups kena bear with me. Okay, bear with me in terms of maybe I kena explain both courses lah. Okay, so the same thing here is my information. So my information applicable for both of the groups. Cuma, okay, I share the proforma one by one lah Patut amai je ada dalam ni Okay, give me 1 second So the PFM is group B as well. Okay. F. Okay, so for the banking please bear for a few minutes sekejap. Okay, and I'll get to your proforma afterwards. So we're going to start dengan the fundamental of financial management. So if you downloaded the proforma, you're going to see the course name tu dua-dua in bahasa. Okay, so it's supposed to be the other one in English is fundamentals of financial management. So this is actually typically similar like financial management yang biasa lah. Cuma we created this course, okay, untuk differentiatekan courses ataupun the course for the again ISM perakaunan PE02 with the rest. Okay, kebanyakan yang lain akan ambil fundamental lah. EE14, EE11, all the 80s ISMP pun kena ambil the asas pengurusan kewangan lah. Okay, so the course emphasizes on the basic concept of financial management. Okay, and the core, okay, the core of this fundamental of financial management selalunya memang melibatkan calculation lah. So obviously when we have these classes onwards, you have to have calculators. Okay, kena ada calculator lah, nama pun keuangan finance. And among the concepts that we're going to go through, including the working capital management, the cash management, the concept of present value of money, time value of money lah, ada present value, future values. And then we also going to discuss the short term and the long term of financing together with the capital budgeting. So all of those akan dipecahkan mengikut topics masing-masing lah. Okay. Right. In terms of the assessment, okay, in terms of the assessment, ataupun sebelum kita tengok assessment, sebenarnya better if we look at the content lah. So, in terms of the content, even though we're gonna have like 7 or 8 topics sahaja, but in terms of the details, okay, sometimes it might requires longer time. For example, for topic number 1 here, the financial environment and also the role of finance in business. Okay, so The earlier parts, obviously, there will be some theories, okay, the introduction and also the foundation of financial management, the financial markets, okay, itu semua teori lah, just theories. So the mathematics part or the calculation part starts when we talk about the financial statement. Okay, so for those the experience with accounting, for example, you might familiar yourself with financial statements, but the difference between accounts and also finance, like accounts, we're gonna have to prepare the statements, but when we talk about finance, we're gonna analyze it. Kita kena buat analysis. So we're gonna revisit what are the financial statements available, and from there baru kita prepare all the relevant analysis lah, including the statement of cash flows and also how to analyze the performance of the companies that produce the financial statements. So yeah, that's the first topic. Okay, with regards to the financial environment and also the role of finance lah. And then next, we have the investment evaluation. Okay, so for investment evaluation, we need to put ourselves in the position of investors. Okay, investors. So nak belajar pasal investment, obviously we need to understand the concept of time value of money, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, the concept of where the money that we have today is not the same as the value in the future, because obviously when we invest, the value will become higher lah in the future, sebab kita boleh invest in a certain types of investment that will give us return, and therefore our money will grow in the future. Okay, so that's the basic concept of time value of money lah. So once we've done with the concept of time value of money, then we're going to explore the options of investment that we have nowadays. Okay, kita boleh invest dekat stocks, we can invest in bonds, and obviously in order to determine the profitability, we need to understand also the concept of risk and return. Okay, that's topic number 2 with regards to investment evaluation. Next, we have the capital structure and also dividend policy. Okay, so this is more on the company side lah. In fact, just to clarify, dalam fundamental of financial management ni, you always have to put yourself in the view of company. Kita bukan buat individual punya financial planning. We are looking from company's perspective. So investment pun kita kena identify from investment punya point of view, the company's punya point of view. Imagine yourself as a business owner ataupun at least as an employee of a company. You akan bekerja dalam corporate contohnya nanti, kalau yang bukan AT lah. Okay, so ataupun those yang intend to have their own company in the future. So you kena imagine yourself buat decisions from company's perspective, bukan individual. So therefore, all the methods and also the strategies that we're going to look at is from the company's punya perspective. Okay, so that's why capital structure dengan dividend policy ni pun selalunya melibatkan firms ataupun company. Okay, how they want to determine the structure of the company, how the company determine, okay, company dah buat profits, okay, and they have shareholders in the company, how they want to give back, okay, the dividend to the shareholders. So that's why ada dividend policy kat dalam ni. Right? And then we have finally the financial technology impact on accounting and finance. So this is basically talking about the current situation with regards to finance industry lah. So sekarang ni everybody knows about financial technology, fintech, short fintech. So just a bit about what is fintech and then what are the products yang relates dengan fintech. Okay, everybody nowadays heard ataupun knows about contohnya cryptocurrencies. So cryptocurrency adalah salah satu produk dalam dunia fintech. Okay, so that's where you're gonna explore, especially when we talk about fintech in practice and also the landscape of the fintech. Okay, towards the end of the semester. Now, kalau you tengok topik ni tak banyak, ada berapa tadi ya? 1, 2, 3, 4 broad topics. Tetapi setiap satu topik tu dia ada pecahan dia, pecahan, and therefore they have a lot of subtopics and requires a lot of time jugalah to cover. And next we're going to look at the assessment. Right, so I know kat dalam ni dipecahkan sorry, the test into two, but basically the test will cover 25%. Okay, the total test will cover about 25%. Okay, there'll be one midterm test worth 25%. And then they're gonna have group assignments. Okay, so there's another 25% of group assignment. Okay, so group assignment yang 25% ni selalunya is a written group assignment. Bertulis meaning you have to prepare. Usually we're gonna use financial ratios as the task, and you have to prepare a complete financial ratio analysis of the companies, and you have to send in a form of written report, and on top of that you're gonna have a group presentation. Okay, ada presentation kat sini, another 10%. Okay, and usually again it is based on the same the same assignment. So maknanya one assignment ada dua output. One output is the written report and the other one is presentation. Okay, so altogether 60% lah 60%. Then we're going to have the final exam of 40%. Okay, so and the rest ni you kalau you bukan AE 11 or E14, you don't have to worry about this lah. This is just applicable for ISM Human Resource and ISM Financial Services saja yang comply dengan number 10 dengan number 12 ni. Okay, and you guys pun dah familiar with these two concept yang from AE 11 and AE 14. But the rest of you guys, you don't have to worry about this lah. Okay, about the continuous assessment and so the final assessment. Okay, I think that's a brief overview of the fundamentals of financial management. Just like I mentioned earlier, I just have to conduct this temporarily because the actual lecturer akan masuk mengajar sebab dia akan masuk mengajar in April. Okay, dia akan report duty on the 1st of April. So she's gonna be conducting the class sampai habis semester. So I'm just temporarily take over kelas ni sampai hujung bulan ni, sampai the 31st. Okay, cuma untuk PFM3203 okay, that's why the kelas bertindih sekarang ni bear with me sebab kelas ni akan di hand over kepada pensyarah baru nantilah. Okay, just to double confirm, for PFM3203 Group B, you have today 12 to 1, BK04, sorry BK pula, Block 4, Level 0 ataupun Lower Ground, BK05, and then that's 1 hour. And then we have 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours of lecture. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, 2 to 4. Okay, 2 to 4 tomorrow. Okay, so maknanya kat sini, PFM 3203, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow then. Okay, untuk kita start our lecture lah tomorrow. Okay, sebab dia ada 2 jam lah. Hari ni sejam tak sempat pun nak start. And again, I miss look. Sebab kat dalam timetable I tak tulis tau PFM 3203 ni. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have to ask the PFM 3203 students, Group B. Okay, so you can leave the session for today. So inshallah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for our first lecture lah. Okay, sebab minggu depan dah public holiday. So kita tak sempat nak go through next week. So we have to start tomorrow. Okay. So thank you very much. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I will have to ask the group PFM3203 group B to leave the session so that I can proceed dengan PBF3023 group B pula. Okay. Sorry about that. And thank you again.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome. Right. So give them 1 or 2 minutes before we revisit the banking punya side pula. Okay. So again, sorry about the confusion. I tak sempat nak update the other group tadi. So I believe the ones left in the session now is just students from PBF3023 group B. So you get the idea ataupun the message earlier and why I have two groups with two different composition of programs kat dalam tu. So let's proceed with the course description. Okay, for the banking and financial institutions. So the course is developed to provide a solid grasp of the fundamental topics, principles, and issues related to banking and finance. As you all know lah, when we talk about banking industry ataupun the financial services industries, this industry is somehow highly regulated. They are very much highly regulated, and on top of that, the landscape changed quite fast, quite rapid in the sense that akan ada new institutions, akan ada new rules and regulations, akan ada new products in the market, new technologies coming in. So that's why we try to provide up-to-date knowledge. Okay, even though if you compare today, and for example last year or even 2 years ago, there will be some changes. Okay, so obviously, how to keep up, you have to read lah. Okay, you have to read, you have to keep alert dengan changes. Okay, but as far as our course is concerned, I will try to give you guys the most up-to-date information lah. Okay, relates dengan the nature of the banks, the financial institutions. Okay, I know majority of us mungkin just familiar dengan the concept of banks. Okay, bila kita pergi dekat mana-mana area, you're gonna see banks everywhere. Okay, but there are plenty of categories of banks. Not all banks are the same. You tahu ada Maybank, ada CIMB, we have public banks, and we have BSN contohnya. All are the banks, nama bank kat dalam tu, bank rakyat. Okay, but all of these banks might have different rules. Okay, their rules are not the same. Their products might not be the same as well. Okay, so that's what you're going to learn throughout the semester. what we talk about financial institutions and what are the financial markets. Okay, so that's what we're gonna explore lah throughout the semester. So at the end of the course, students should be able to, number one, to distinguish the functions of banks, specifically commercial banks, and also other financial institutions. So at the very first topic later on, you're going to see that how the structure looks like from Malaysian financial system punya point of view. Okay, you akan nampak two distinguished section lah. We have one is financial institutions and the other one would be the financial markets. Okay, and you can see the difference later on lah. So that's why one of the key objective when you learn about the course, you boleh bezakan lah to distinguish the functions and also the format. Number two, to describe the appropriate methods in terms of the practices. The third one is to demonstrate ethics and professionalism. So this one mostly kita akan test you by having group punya projects. Okay. And lastly, number four, to use various techniques in planning, controlling and decision making. Okay, so yang ni selalunya kita akan measure using a group, again another group project, cuma dalam bentuk reports, sama macam the course earlier lah. Okay, right, for this topic ataupun for this course, dia ada banyak topik sebenarnya. We have about 11 topics altogether. Okay, 11 topics. Some might be longer than the others lah. Okay, we have the overview of financial markets and institutions. So this is where you're gonna see from the bird's eye view the whole Malaysian financial system. Okay, and you're gonna see the difference lah between the financial markets and also the financial institutions and who are the participants, right? And then second topic is about interest determination. So when we talk about financial markets, financial institutions, one of the key panggil apa components lah yang menentukan how well the financial market institutions runs is the determination of interest rate. Okay, interest rate, walaupun nama dia interest rate, please bear in mind because you know in Malaysia we have the conventional markets and we also have the Islamic markets. So for the Islamic ones, obviously they will not use the interest, okay, but somehow they use interest as a benchmark. So therefore, we still need to know how the interest determined, okay. And in Malaysia, the key institution that control the interest rate specifically is Bank Negara Malaysia or BNM, okay. So we're gonna learn more about that later lah. And then we have topic 3 until topic number 6. You nampak kat situ ada money market, capital market, derivatives and also offshore. So all of those market is actually falls under the financial markets. Okay. Dalam financial market tu ada 4 different types of market lah. Money market, capital, derivatives and also offshore. Okay, so again, some topics tu mungkin sekejap je. Macam derivatives and offshore tu mungkin kita akan ambil one session each lah. Tapi money market and capital, we might have a longer time to take lah. Sebab dalam money market tu dia dah pecah. Nanti akan ada the money market itself and then we have the currency exchange. And then untuk capital market pula dia ada 2 pecahan. Okay, for the capital market, we have the equity market and we also have the debt market ataupun the bond market. Okay, so mungkin akan ambil masa slightly longer. Okay, but altogether from topic 3 until topic number 6, they are actually falls under the financial market. And then after that, basically semua masuk dalam financial institution lah. Okay, financial institutions. So financial institution ni termasuklah banks. And bank ni pula dia ada pecahan, ada commercial banks, ada Islamic banks, ada development finance, we have insurance and takaful, for example. So semua tu masuk dalam financial institutions. Okay. And we have topic number 7 talks about the commercial banks, specifically commercial banks. We have bank management and profitability and also regulations. Okay, all the acts that we have govern the financial institutions. Okay, and then we have a topic about Islamic finance. And as you all know, Malaysia is pretty much spearheading the Islamic finance, Islamic banks in the world. Okay, we are one of the countries that ada both conventional, okay, the conventional banks and also the Islamic banks. So as Malaysian, you have to know the concept of Islamic finance lah when we talk about how the Islamic banks and Islamic economics being run in the country. Okay, ada satu topik khas untuk Islamic finance. And lastly, the contemporary issues. So ni again, kita akan tengok what are the current issues that revolve around the financial markets and institutions. Okay, it can be in a form of regulations, it can be in a form of new products in the market, new companies. Okay, semua tu kita akan discuss in the final topic lah, topic 11. Right, so similar like the other course earlier yang tadi PFM 3203 tu So untuk you guys PBF3023, you can download your pro forma in my guru as well. So you boleh download, kejap lagi kita tengok together lah. But before you look at the pro forma, so this is how we do the assessment. So again, the distribution will be 60-40, 60% ongoing assessment, 40% final exams. Okay, so for the ongoing assessment, it will be divided into 3 parts. There will be a midterm test worth 20%. We have group assignments of 20%, and we have individual assignments worth 20% as well. So individual assignment ni can be in a form of quizzes, can be in a form of written assignment as well. Okay. Cuma group assignment tu memang kena buat written report lah later. Okay, in a group. And then we have 40% for the final exam. Okay, so it's 60-40, pretty much straightforward. And the group, the ongoing assessment kita pecah 3. 20% test, 20% group, and 20% individual. Okay. And this would be the references lah, recommended references. Okay, kalau boleh cari kat library, kalau ada you can borrow from the library, or else if you can find it online, the ebook boleh cari online ebook kalau ada, or else you can just refer to our slides lah. Okay, my slides. Okay, and we have to rely, like I said, sebab the nature of the industry that keep on changing all the time, we have to rely on websites of Bank Negara, Securities Commission, or any other relevant websites or portal as well. Okay, financial portals yang lain. Okay, so let's look at proforma sekejap. Okay, so this is the proforma of PBF3023. As I mentioned, you dah boleh download. Okay, more or less the same as the ones in my slide earlier. The synopsis, okay, the CLOs, okay, the assessment, okay, but this one is mostly on mapping lah. Cuma kalau nak tengok the details, kalau dalam slide tadi is just the broad topics, but here you can see the details of it lah. So for example, the overview of financial market institutions. So what are the subtopics ada kat dalam ni? Comparative of the financial system, the types of financial intermediaries and so on, the interest determination, apa yang ada dalam tu termasuklah teori dia. Okay, the money markets, as I mentioned, dia ada money market and forex dia, foreign exchange. And then for capital market, dia ada equity and also the equity dengan bond market. Okay. Derivatives, offshore, and then we have the rest lah. You can go through. Okay. Okay, together kat dalam ni termasuk digital banking lah. Right. This is one of the major thing coming in. I know kita always familiar ourselves dengan the normal traditional banks. Okay. Maybank ke, CIMB as I mentioned. Standard Chartered, HSBC kalau for internationals. Okay, but nowadays we have a new group of bankers yang dilabel sebagai digital banks. Okay, so apa bezanya digital bank dengan conventional ones? Digital bank ni memang purely online. So meaning they don't have branches. So Maybank contohnya, you still can see their branch. Even though we might use their online offerings, kita guna dia punya mobile app, kita guna dia punya internet banking. Okay, but still we can go to their branch to do whatever transaction lah. Tetapi untuk digital banks, they don't have physical branch. They operate purely online. Okay, even though they might have their apps, you can still open savings account contohnya, right? So, but that are among the issues ataupun among the updates that we have lah. So kita akan go through that as well nantilah. That's towards the end of the semester nanti. Alright, so yang the rest sama in terms of continuous assessment 60%, final exam 40%, and the references pun sama jugalah. Okay, so that's the idea and also the content that we're going to go through throughout the semester. So the cost tak banyak calculation. The only parts with calculation comes in the profitability, the bank management and profitability part saja. That's the only part that we have calculations. And the calculation is very straightforward. It's mostly relates with ratios. Okay, cuma if you've taken again financial management before, you pernah belajar financial ratios before, but when we talk about banking ratios, they have slightly different ratios. Okay, and that ratios will be discussed later on in topic of bank management and profitability. Okay, but the rest mostly theory and mostly concept concept without calculation involved. Now, let's look at your schedule timetable. So that's why ada confusion tadi sebabkan kita punya slot yang sama dengan PFM3203. Because as I mentioned in the other course tadi their classes will be conducted by a new lecturer and she will be joining later. But for you guys memang I lah that will take charge of the class for PBF3023. So our class would be on Tuesdays 12 to 1 hari ni contohnya, and it's supposed to be at block 10 block 10 block 10 which is our faculty siapa yang from LPE is at block 10 level 1 BK14. I believe this is the larger room towards the other side of the building yang moving towards block 9 and then the other 2 hours would be on hari ini oh sorry, the other slot would be on Fridays. PBF3023 Group B would be on Friday 8 to 10. Okay, again block 10 juga, cuma now is at BK18. I just hope this is the larger room lah. BK18 dengan BK14. Okay. Later on we can double check whether this is the larger room because based on my understanding the capacity is about 80 and we have about 60 of us now. Right? But anyway, both will be conducted at our block lah, block 10. Now, by looking at the schedule, okay, obviously we're not gonna start our lecture today lah sebab kita ada sejam je pun. So the next will be supposedly on Friday. Okay, Friday on the and our Friday sepatutnya this Friday lah, but as you all know, this Friday is a public holiday. Okay, announced already. So we will not have class this Friday. And the following week, on the 24th, I know it's not a public holiday, but some of us might sebab still dalam festive season, so most likely we're not gonna have class on the 24th. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna meet on the 27th. Okay, Friday 27th tu will be our first lecture on the 27th. Friday 27, 8 to 10, and since 27 tu still within our online classes, so on the 27 tu kita akan meet again lah online, and we're going to go through our first topic on the 27th. Okay, so I just recap. This Friday 20th tak ada kelas, and then 24th next week pun tak ada kelas, and we're gonna have our first lecture on the 27th, and the 27th will be online. Okay, and based on calendar again, our next selepas 27 tu is supposed to be on the 31st. 31st tu hari Selasa kan, and 31st tu pun still within BHEA ataupun academic punya calendar masih lagi online. So 31st tu pun kalau ada kelas nanti kita akan buat online juga. Okay, kita akan buat online juga. So siapa yang boleh tolong create a WhatsApp group, nanti post the link tu dalam kita punya My Guru, okay, so that everyone can have access, and we're gonna share information in the WhatsApp group later lah. Okay, but after the 31st, obviously we're gonna meet online, but we're gonna meet face to face lah after the 31st. So meaning Friday the following week tu, April, the 4th of April, sorry, the 3rd of April. Yes, I'll ada colour. Okay, the 3rd of April tu, insyaAllah we're gonna see for the very first time face to face lah at our allocated classroom. Okay, any question? Ada soalan ke?
So far tak ada, Doktor.
Okay, so if there's no question, I would like to wish early festive season for those celebrating. Selamat Hari Raya, and have a safe long holidays sampai kita punya first meeting 27 nantilah. Okay, take care, and I'll see you guys insyaAllah on the 27th. Alright, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon.
Alright, thank you, Doktor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Alright, welcome.
Doktor.